The story begins with a massive asteroid heading toward Earth. To stop it, humans launched nuclear missiles at it. The asteroid was destroyed, but its radiation-filled fragments fell to Earth. Those fragments altered the DNA of all cold-blooded creatures: ants, spiders, snakes, lizards, causing them to grow to gigantic sizes. In the year-long battle that followed, most of these giant creatures were killed. But in the process, the military's resources, along with bullets and guns, were all exhausted. Around 95% of humanity perished, and the remaining survivors were forced to live underground in bunkers. This is the story of one of those survivors, a boy named Joel. His story began when he was spending some private time in a car with his girlfriend, Amy. Suddenly, fragments of the asteroid began falling toward their city. Right after, a gigantic creature attacked the city. Seeing this, they both ran home, only to find people preparing to flee the city. That's when Joel and Amy were separated. Before leaving, Joel promised Amy that he would find her again. On the way, Joel's family was attacked by the creatures. Joel managed to get out of the car, but his parents were trapped inside. In their final moments, Joel's mother told him to run. Reluctantly, Joel moved forward, only to watch in horror as a giant creature stomped on the car, killing his parents instantly. Witnessing his parents' death before his eyes left Joel numb. Other survivors dragged him into their car and escaped with him, but Joel couldn't recover from the trauma. 7 years have passed since that incident. Joel now lives with the same group that saved him. Everyone in the bunker has a partner, except Joel. He still hasn't recovered from his parents' death, and his panic attacks prevent him from being sent outside. Every time he sees a creature, he freezes in fear, unable to move. Because of this, he's never chosen for outside missions. Instead, Joel spends his time cooking, cleaning, and doing chores for the group. He has lived this way for 7 years. One day, a massive ant broke into their bunker. The group prepared to fight it, but they told Joel to stay out of it. A team of 4 went out to face the creature while the others monitored the fight through a thermal camera. During the battle, one of the team members was grabbed by the giant ant. Watching his friends in danger, Joel couldn't hold back and rushed out to help. He saw the shadow of the giant ant, its jaws holding one of his companions. The sight overwhelmed him, and he froze in fear again. As the ant moved toward him, Joel closed his eyes. When he opened them, the ant's head was lying at his feet. The other 2 fighters had decapitated it. To distract himself and recover from the incident, Joel began talking to someone over the radio. That someone turned out to be Amy. She had also survived the attack 7 years ago but lived in a colony far away. Since their separation, they hadn't seen each other. Joel contacted multiple stations until he finally found her. The 2 spoke happily, but suddenly the radio went dead. Having faced death that day, Joel realized he couldn't just sit in the bunker waiting for death to come. He asked his companions how far Amy's colony was. They told him it was 140 kilometers west, built along a beach. Joel said he wanted to go there. His companions warned him that the journey would take at least 7 days, and even the best trained survivor couldn't last more than 3 to 4 days above ground. "You'd be dead within an hour," they said. But Joel had made up his mind. He would either reunite with Amy or die trying. Deep down, Joel also felt like he didn't belong in the bunker, that he was just a burden. But in truth, his friends cared deeply for him. They even drew him a map to help him reach Amy. For the first time in years, Joel left the safety of the bunker. Amy's colony was 140 kilometers west, but Joel had no idea which direction west actually was. Without thinking, he just started walking. Soon, Joel heard the sound of a large creature nearby. He hid inside a house, but in the pond outside lurked a giant frog. Seeing the creature, Joel froze again. The frog lashed out at him with its long tongue, but just in time, someone shoved Joel out of the way. It was a dog. The frog attacked again, snatching Joel's leg with its tongue. But the dog bit the frog's tongue, forcing it to release Joel. Quickly, Joel and the dog escaped. The dog led him to an abandoned bus, which turned out to be its home, where it lived with its owner. His owner was probably dead. Joel noticed the word boy written on a wall. As soon as Joel said, "Boy," the dog became alert, and Joel understood that this dog's name was Boy. When Joel picked up a red dress lying there, Boy immediately snatched it away from him because it was his owner's last memory. Joel spent the night in that bus, and the next morning he left. But as soon as Joel began walking away, Boy followed him with the red dress in his mouth, as if he wanted to go along. Joel then put the dress in his bag and took Boy with him. Moving slowly through the completely destroyed areas, both of them continued their journey. On the way, Joel saw some fruits hanging on a plant. Hungry, he was about to eat one, but Boy pulled on his leg, as if warning him not to. Joel understood they might be poisonous. As they went further, Joel kept writing about his experiences in a book. Suddenly, while walking, Joel fell into a huge pit. When he tried to climb up, he realized he wasn't alone. Large bones were lying around, which meant he wasn't the first victim. Suddenly, extremely fast blood-sucking insects attacked him. But at the very last moment, an unknown man pulled him up with a rope. This man's name was Clyde, and the little girl with him, Minnow, was just as dangerous. She blew up all the insects with a grenade. Clyde told Joel, "You shouldn't be roaming around alone." Joel replied, "I'm not alone. I have a dog, and I'm on my way to my girlfriend Amy's colony." Clyde said he was heading north, to the mountains and snow, because there's a special colony there, and the creatures don't come near because of the cold. Clyde added, "For a while, our paths are the same, so if you want, you can come with us." After walking a bit, they stopped at a mountain. Minnow started teaching Joel how to shoot arrows, but his aim was terrible. Minnow explained that her father had been the best archer in their colony. But when a swarm of these creatures attacked the colony, both her father and Clyde's son were killed. Since then, Clyde and Minnow had been searching for a safe colony where they could live peacefully. Just then, Clyde noticed a creature approaching from the forest. He told Joel, "It has caught your scent now. It will keep chasing you for a long time." They quickly left. Clyde and Minnow had been surviving on Earth for a long time, so they knew a lot about these creatures. Later, Clyde spotted a giant snail. He whispered to Joel not to move, but Joel was already frozen in fear. Clyde told him to quietly take off his t-shirt, placed it on the snail, and the snail left without harming them. Clyde explained that now, wherever the snail went, it would spread Joel's scent, which would confuse the creature that was tracking him. Joel asked, "Why didn't the snail attack us?" Clyde replied, "Because some creatures are good too." Minnow added, "If you're ever confused, just look into their eyes. You'll know. Eyes never lie." That night, they stopped somewhere and ate. But as soon as they began resting, Clyde woke them up, warning that the smell of their food would attract other creatures, and staying there wasn't safe. The next day, Minnow again trained Joel with the crossbow. She told him to calm his mind before shooting, and whenever Joel did that, his arrows hit the target perfectly. Seeing this, Minnow became very happy and hugged Joel. Having lost her family at such a young age, Minnow began to see an elder brother in Joel. Days passed. Clyde and Minnow taught Joel how to survive, how to avoid creatures, and about plants that could neutralize animal venom. Finally, they told him about the most dangerous creature on Earth, the sand gobbler. These sand gobblers move underground and track sounds with deadly accuracy. But the most dangerous of them all is their queen, much larger in size, with one wing visible above the ground. If the queen hears even the slightest sound, it's game over. No one who has ever faced the queen has survived. Minnow kept training Joel with the crossbow daily, and he grew better and better. After 5 days, they finally reached the point where their paths would separate. Clyde told Joel, "Come with us. Surviving alone will be very difficult. Together, the chances are higher." But Joel was determined to reach Amy. Minnow was very upset with his decision, but Joel explained, "Amy means everything to me." Minnow hugged him one last time. Before leaving, Clyde gave Joel a grenade and said, "Use this only when you really need to." After pulling the pin, Count to 5 and then throw it. Remember, count to 5. With that, both groups parted ways. Now Joel and Boy had to cover the remaining 50 kilometers on their own. But this journey was going to be extremely difficult. After walking some distance, they reached a place where Boy began acting strangely and refused to go further. Scared, he hid under a paddle boat. Joel was trying to coax him out when suddenly, dozens of legs emerged from beneath Joel's feet. It was a gigantic centipede. Joel nervously pulled out his crossbow, but the creature came very close. It was about to grab Joel with its tail when Boy's barking startled it. The centipede lashed its tail and hurled Joel far away. Now the monster turned toward Boy, surrounding the boat from all sides and flipping it over. At that moment, Joel's traumatic memories of losing his parents flashed before his eyes. But this time, instead of freezing, he conquered his fear and stood tall. He fired an arrow straight into the monster's neck. Furious, the creature abandoned Boy and charged directly at Joel. At the last second, Joel fired again, this time hitting its head. With that single shot, the beast collapsed dead. Joel trembled in disbelief. He couldn't process that he had actually killed such a huge monster. Just then, Boy came running back to him. Joel might not have been able to save his parents in the past, but today he overcame his fear and saved Boy's life. The next morning, they reached a large crater, where Boy again started behaving strangely, trying to run away. Joel realized danger was nearby. Soon he spotted a creature moving underground, with one wing sticking out. This was the queen of the sand gobblers. To distract her, Joel tossed a small toy far away. The queen burst out of the ground where the sound came from. Joel wasted no time and fled, with the queen chasing close behind. While running, Joel tripped and lost his bag. He and Boy hid inside a hollow tree trunk. Joel covered Boy's mouth so no sound would escape. When silence followed, the queen began to move away. But suddenly, Joel's bag slipped, and Boy's owner's red dress fell into the river. Seeing this, Boy fearlessly dashed out to save it. Joel tried to stop him, but Boy didn't listen. The queen turned back toward them. To save Boy, Joel ran for his bag, grabbed the grenade Clyde had given him, pulled the pin, and began counting to 5. But in panic, the grenade slipped from his hand. As Joel tried to pick it up, the queen lunged at him. Desperate, Joel shoved the grenade straight into her mouth and leapt into the river. The explosion tore the queen to pieces. Joel went wild with relief, but he was furious with Boy. When Joel climbed out of the water, he saw leech-like creatures clinging all over his body. Horrified, he ripped them off one by one, all while scolding Boy. He shouted that because of a worthless dress, they both almost died. Offended, Boy left Joel behind. Soon, Joel began staggering from the leech's poison. Hallucinations clouded his vision. In his delirium, he stumbled ahead until he collapsed. Just before passing out, he spotted a plant known to neutralize poison. He quickly ate it, and still dazed, dragged himself forward until he finally slumped against the spot to rest. Suddenly, Joel saw Amy there. Seeing her again after 7 years, he kissed her at once, before blacking out again. When he regained consciousness, Joel found himself inside Amy's colony. The sight of her in front of him filled him with happiness and disbelief. Amy told him to rest, but Joel said, "After all this time, kissing you again felt amazing." Amy replied, "You didn't kiss me, you kissed this old man." Later, Amy explained that new people had recently arrived in their colony, including a ship's captain who wanted to take everyone to a safe place. Joel found it strange, but before he could ask more, Amy left for some work. When Joel stepped outside, he was stunned by the colony's beauty. To his surprise, it even had a beach. Although Amy's colony was underground, the sea at the back kept them safe, since the creatures hated water. While Joel admired the view, Amy came to talk to him. Soon the captain and his companions arrived. Amy introduced Joel and told the captain that Joel had survived a 7-day journey to reach here. Impressed, the captain revealed that he had once served in the army. Now, he ferried survivors on his ship to a base, where they could live peacefully, far away from the monsters. Later, When Joel and Amy finally had a moment alone, Joel asked, "I came all this way just to see you. But you don't look as happy as I expected." Amy admitted that a lot had changed in 7 years. She had lost her parents, and just last year, the man she truly loved had also died. Hearing this shattered Joel's world. He realized he should have asked Amy first if she even wanted to see him. But Amy said it was her fault too. She should have told him everything on the radio earlier. Still, she said she was glad he came, and suggested they could at least remain friends. Joel was heartbroken. He had fought dinosaur-sized bugs for 140 kilometers, risked his life to get here, and she put him in the friend zone. Joel thought bitterly. What kind of cruel woman is this? We can still be friends. I already had friends back home. Completely crushed, Joel was in no state to think clearly. Later, he tried contacting his colony through the radio, but couldn't get through. Just then, an old man came to Joel and gave him some fruits and beer. He said it was a gift from the captain to the whole colony, a symbol of a new beginning. Joel then looked at the map his friends had given him. On the back of the map, they had written messages for him. Reading them, Joel got emotional and realized how much the people of his colony loved him. And that for the sake of meeting a girl he hadn't seen in 7 years, he had left them behind. Just then, a message from Joel's colony came over the radio. Hearing Joel's voice, everyone back there was overjoyed that he had made it so far. Joel shared everything that had happened to him, and they were shocked at how he managed all of that alone. Joel asked them how things were there. They told him that after he left, there had been several attacks, and the colony was no longer safe. Suddenly, the connection was cut off. Now Joel made up his mind. He would go back for his friends and wouldn't move forward with the captain without them. At that moment, his eyes fell on the fruits he had been given. Looking at them, he remembered something. He opened his notebook and realized these were the same fruits the boy had warned him not to eat. Joel immediately rushed to Amy, but outside, everyone was already intoxicated by the fruits. Joel tried to warn Amy, but one by one, people started passing out. Suddenly, Diana attacked Joel from behind. When Joel regained consciousness, he saw that all the colony members were tied up. In fact, this was the captain's real game. He would go to different colonies, steal their food and supplies, and then feed the captured people to a giant crab that pulled his ship. The captain said, "Where else would we get fuel to run the ship?" Then he pressed a button on his remote, and a dark shadow began rising from the sea. People panicked and tried to run. Amy tried with all her strength to free her hands, and she succeeded. She quickly untied Joel as well. Amy told him, "I'll handle these 3 men. You take care of that crab." She grabbed a piece of the gate and charged at one of the men, dodging bullets and attacking him until both collapsed unconscious. Meanwhile, the crab was closing in. Joel picked up a rod and ran toward it. As the crab lunged at him, Joel struck it hard, knocking it over onto its back. But the crab couldn't get up. Just as Joel was about to finish it off, the captain shocked it with his remote, jolting it back onto its feet. The crab then launched a fierce attack on Joel. Meanwhile, Amy regained consciousness and saw Diana before her. A fight broke out between them, but Diana overpowered Amy easily. On the other side, as the crab attacked Joel, suddenly the boy appeared, standing between Joel and the crab. The crab paused for a moment, strangely calm at the sight of the boy. The captain yelled at Diana, "Kill that dog!" As she fired a rocket launcher, Amy struck her hand, causing her aim to miss. The grenade hit the crab directly, badly injuring it. The furious crab went berserk and charged at the captain himself. But the captain shocked it again, turning it back toward Joel. Joel told the boy to stay with Amy and keep her safe. The boy tried to wake Amy up. Meanwhile, the 3 thieves took the chance to flee. The crab now unleashed relentless attacks on Joel. Just then, Amy woke up and grabbed a grenade gun lying nearby. The crab caught Joel by the leg, and Joel asked Amy to pass him the weapon. She quickly handed it over. Joel was about to pull the trigger, but then he looked into the crab's eyes. He remembered Mino's words, You can tell whether a creature is evil or not by looking into its eyes. In this crab's eyes, Joel saw nothing but pain caused by the chain and constant shocks. So instead of shooting it, Joel aimed at the chain and broke it, setting the crab free. After that, the crab didn't attack Joel anymore. As Joel collapsed to the ground, Amy rushed to his side. The crab slowly approached Joel too, but stopped, as if to thank him for freeing it, and then headed straight toward the captain's ship. The captain had already reached the ship and tried shocking the crab again, but nothing happened. He realized his game was over. The crab swallowed all three of them alive, one by one, and destroyed their ship completely. With everything over, Joel prepared to head back to his colony. But seeing Joel's bravery in saving Amy and her entire colony, Amy started liking Joel once again. She asked him to stay, but Joel said, "My friends need me. I have to go." Joel handed Amy his book, where he had written down all the weaknesses of these creatures, so she could continue fighting them. He thanked her, because it was only because of her that he had come this far, and this journey had changed his life. As he left, Joel finally gathered the courage to kiss Amy. Amy smiled and said, "You traveled 140 kilometers for me. This time, I'll come looking for you." So what do you think? Does Amy deserve a second chance? Tell us in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.